Russian troops fighting in Ukraine have reportedly been forced to buy basic equipment at their own expense. It has been reported that Putin's men could have to spend their entire monthly wage on basic equipment. And those that have gear have complained about how flimsy the equipment is, with pictures showing basic tin helmets easily crushed underfoot, let alone being shredded by shrapnel. Dr. Rod Thornton, a leading security expert at King's College London, told us that corruption has always been a massive issue for Russia but has shot out of control since the war in Ukraine. He said Russian generals clean off a lot of the defense budget for themselves, possibly to the tune of billions of dollars. This was having an immediate knock-on effect on soldiers who are being given substandard kit while more expensive materials are sold online. It means that they, Russian troops, will be given substandard equipment. That's the first thing they'll notice. Things like the ammunition won't work, the senior lecturer said. It also follows reports that Russia's tinpot army has been forced to use off-the-shelf cameras, gamepads, and sat-navs to fix up its planes and drones. And while you can buy high-end military armored cars, desperate Russians have been creating Mad Max vehicles with extra armor bolted on in fear of being wiped up by anti-tank law missiles. It's gotten so bad, Mr. Cron Evans said, that troops are resorting to crowdfunding to raise money for vital supplies such as helmets, radios, backpacks, camouflage nets, sleeping bags, travel mats, and even bulletproof vests. Ukrainian Defense Intelligence reported in mid-April that Russian soldiers were arriving in Ukraine with decommissioned body armor, rotten fabric and rusted plates. And it doesn't stop there. Russian bloggers have called on donations of boxes of socks, t-shirts and thermals to be sent to servicemen in Ukraine after they were left without cold weather gear and waterproof clothing. One Russian influencer, who goes by the name Ross Vitos on Kontakt, Russia's version of Facebook, called on followers to donate 6 B-43 combined arms bulletproof vests after receiving requests from troops. The extended kit was supplied to the units in a very limited way, a post from September 1st read. This is a cry for help on the topic of armor because he himself has already lost hope of conveying it to our superiors. He goes on to claim additional sets of armor were rotting in warehouses. I want to scream, but it's useless. Mr. Cranny Evans said it was no surprise people were turning to online marketplaces to buy basic equipment. He said Russian troops are receiving personal medical kits which have not changed since the 1960s, which typically consist of one rubber tourniquet, one bandage, a few purifying tablets, and a painkiller. And he also said Russian officers tend to use military vehicles without consent and run them down. What will often happen is that the commander of a battalion will tell one of his junior officers to drive into town to buy flowers for his wife and his girlfriend, and the junior officer thinks up ways he can get away with it without spending his own money, he said. So, he'll do two things. He'll take money from a conscript and then drive a military vehicle to go buy these things and comes back and gives it to the senior officer, a process which runs down to the lowest ranks of the army, Sam claimed. What you get is people using military vehicles on a very regular basis to do errands which shouldn't be done, so when it comes to actually going to train in those vehicles, they've actually been used a lot more than they're supposed to have been without servicing, and there's no fuel in them. It seems so benign. He also said Russian commanders screwed up the modernization of army comms. They were supposed to funnel cash into buying two types of tactical radios that would have been impenetrable to outside interference. Instead, billions of rubles were creamed off and only a small number of radios were delivered, which meant troops had to crowdsource to buy one or resorted to using their mobile phone in the battlefield.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.